I thought it'd be a good idea to have her standing somewhere in like a location. And so I was like, okay, maybe she can be standing on top, because when it comes to the perspective where she's standing, the eye line is around, I mean, it's around the center-ish. And so I didn't want to keep that just the sky background, but it felt a little empty to me. I feel like I could do more with the background. It doesn't have to be a very complicated background. And I feel like some people, when they say, "Oh man, I need to draw background. When I have to draw buildings and stuff, it's gonna be very, very difficult. You know, I have to draw the details of the buildings, etc., etc." What if I told you the background is just a bunch of rectangles with different colors? It's very simple sometimes to indicate background without putting in too much effort. All you need are some rectangles, maybe textured brushes if you want to be fancy. You don't really have to have textured brushes either, just some gradients. And some knowledge of color. So I just take a rectangle lasso tool, I fill it in random rectangles. Of course, with the background balance and the ratio in mind. Just put random ones. Don't be too uniform. It doesn't have to be uniform. Just put random ones. You know, I'll put a tall one here, a short one here. Maybe I could put another one here. I'll fill it in. Right? And now, lock the opacity, and with a soft brush, choose a slightly lighter color. Brush in so the black is not so obvious. Wow. And look, it already looks like there's buildings in the back. Wow, it is just a bunch of rectangles. What? Nani? You wanna know another secret? Take a bunch of thin rectangles. I'll just quickly do some white thin rectangles, okay? See this really thin rectangle? Copy. Paste it, merge it, copy, paste it, merge it, copy, paste it, merge it, copy, paste it, merge it. Right, you get it? And now, copy it, you rotate it. Oh, wait, I didn't copy it. And then you cover everything. And then you select it, control, and then clicking on the thumbnail, select everything in that layer. Hide this layer, but delete the vertical layer. So you're left with these smaller rectangles. Wow. And then you go on top of the building rectangles. And you can layer clip it if you want. Copy paste it. And just line them up sometimes. You can of course adjust it. Of course you can like delete some of them if you want to. It doesn't really fit the building design you're going for. Right? And I just delete this bit. These are just random cubes, random rectangles. And now lock the transparency on that. Take a similar lighter bluish, cover it up. But you can also add some texture to it using a texture brush, for example. Like that, right? Just dab randomly. You can even add some, I don't know, random colors that you like. So you feel like, oh, this does seem like somewhat of a building with some random lights on in the background. Doesn't have to be too extreme. Just needs to look convincing. Okay, so she's sitting in the city, but at the same time, where she's standing in the perspective, I feel like she might be standing on top of like a roof or like a patio. And to make that even more obvious, I'll add some fences. And again, it's just a bunch of rectangles. And so after looking at the little guidelines I have, okay, I'll be like, okay, I'll just add a rectangle here. Just have another rectangle here. Of course, you can adjust the shape of the rectangles to however detailed you want it to be. Copy paste, copy paste, copy paste. And then if you leave it just black, it seems a little too eye-catching. So you take the background colors, you start adding in some gradients where the light will be hitting. Because to me, the light will be coming from the streets below. And if you look at like street photography in the night, you know that it's bright, but it's night, so it's dark. The light is coming from streets. But you don't also want it to be too light because, of course, it's not going to get lighter than a certain point. If you want to be fancy, you can add some rim light to the edges here. I don't add too much of it. The like frames the light on the outside, blah blah blah. But with a little bit, with just a bunch of rectangles and a little bit of gradients and textures, you can create a city nightscape just like that.